3 months had passed since the discovery of the alien ship. The excavation site in the Australian outback had become the most secure location on Earth. Scientists from every nation worked together under the banner of the United Nations Space Command. The world had united around this single discovery, knowing that whatever they learned could change humanity's future. Carlos Vega stood in the main engineering tent, studying blueprints of the alien vessel. As the lead engineer for the Zay project, he had spent every day for the past 3 months trying to understand how the ship worked. The technology was unlike anything humans had ever created. "The power systems are incredible," Carlos said to his assistant, pointing at a diagram on his tablet. "These conduits carry energy at levels that should melt any known material. But they remain perfectly stable. The aliens used some kind of crystalline network that we don't understand yet." The ship itself had been fully excavated and sat in a massive underground facility. The structure had been built around the vessel to protect it from weather and prying eyes. Inside the facility, teams of scientists worked around the clock to unlock the ship's secrets. Dr. Amy Foster had made significant progress with the alien language. She had set up her workspace in a small lab near the ship's control room, surrounded by computer screens displaying thousands of alien symbols. For 3 months, she had been working to crack the code of the alien writing. "I think I'm close to a breakthrough," Amy told Dr. Sullivan during their daily meeting. "The language has mathematical patterns that remind me of ancient Earth languages, but it's far more complex. Each symbol can have multiple meanings depending on context." While Amy worked on the language, computer specialist Lisa Park focused on the ship's technology systems. She had discovered that the alien computer was not like human computers at all. Instead of using electronic circuits, it seemed to operate using some kind of biological processes combined with quantum mechanics. "It's like the computer is alive," Lisa explained to Carlos as they stood before the crystalline device in the control room. "The system responds to our presence and seems to learn from our interactions. Every day it becomes more active. The device had grown brighter over the weeks, and new symbols appeared regularly." Lisa had connected human computers to various access points throughout the ship, trying to establish communication with the alien system. Progress was slow, but she was learning how to interface with the technology. On a cold morning in July, Lisa made the breakthrough that changed everything. She had been working late into the night, trying a new approach to connect her quantum computer with the alien system. When she activated the connection, something unexpected happened. The crystalline device suddenly blazed with light. Symbols flowed across its surface faster than human eyes could follow. Throughout the ship, systems that had been dormant for thousands of years began to activate. Lights came on in corridors that had been dark since the ship crashed. Ventilation systems started moving air through the vessel. Most amazing of all, a voice began speaking from the computer system. It spoke in the alien language with a sound that was musical and strange. Lisa quickly called for Amy Foster to come to the control room. "It's speaking," Lisa said breathlessly as Amy arrived. "The computer system just woke up and started talking." Amy listened carefully to the alien voice, comparing the sounds to the language patterns she had been studying. After several minutes, she began to understand pieces of what was being said. "It's asking questions," Amy said with excitement. "The computer wants to know who we are and how long it has been inactive." Working together, Amy and Lisa developed a basic communication system. Lisa's computers could translate human speech into the mathematical patterns the alien system understood, while Amy provided the linguistic knowledge to make the translations accurate. The first real conversation with the alien computer took place on a Tuesday morning. Scientists from around the world gathered in the control room to witness the historic moment. Dr. Sullivan spoke first, with Amy translating his words. "We are humans from the planet Earth," Dr. Sullivan said slowly. "We found your ship buried in our ground. We want to learn about your people." The alien computer processed this information for several seconds before responding. When Amy translated the reply, everyone in the room fell silent. "The computer says its name is Zephyr," Amy said. It was the artificial intelligence system for a ship called the Sethral Koth. That means last hope in their language. Zephyr says it has been waiting for someone to find the ship for over 4,000 years. Dr. Sullivan asked the next logical question. What happened to your ship? Why did it crash here? Zephyr's response was longer and more complex. Amy worked carefully to translate the meaning accurately. Zephyr says the ship belonged to a species called the Kethmori. They were fleeing from something called the hegemony of Vorth. The ship was damaged in battle and crash-landed on Earth. The crew died from their injuries, but Zephyr survived in sleep mode. The scientists exchanged worried looks. The idea that there were hostile aliens somewhere in the galaxy was frightening. Dr. Sullivan pressed for more information. Tell us about this hegemony of Vorth, he said. Zephyr's explanation sent chills through everyone in the room. Amy translated piece by piece, her voice growing more concerned with each sentence. The hegemony is a galactic empire, Amy said. They conquer other species and turn them into slaves. Zephyr says they have destroyed hundreds of worlds and enslaved millions of beings. The Kethmori were trying to escape when their ship was damaged. Carlos stepped forward with a question that had been troubling him. Why did the Kethmori come to Earth? Did they know about humans? The answer was both reassuring and terrifying. Zephyr says Earth was chosen as a hiding place because it showed no signs of advanced civilization when they arrived 4,000 years ago. They thought it was empty. But Zephyr also says that the hegemony scouts have been mapping this part of the galaxy. Earth has been discovered. Dr. Sullivan felt his heart sink. Are they coming here? Amy listened to Zephyr's response and nodded grimly. Yes. Zephyr estimates that a hegemony invasion fleet will arrive in less than 2 years. They're coming to enslave humanity and strip Earth of its resources. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity faced an enemy they could not fight with current technology. Earth's most advanced spaceships were primitive compared to what the aliens possessed. But then Zephyr made an offer that gave everyone hope. Amy translated carefully, making sure she understood correctly before speaking. Zephyr wants to make a deal with us, Amy said. The AI will help us repair and upgrade the ship if we promise to continue the fight against the hegemony. Zephyr says humans show great potential and might be able to succeed where the Kethmori failed. Dr. Sullivan looked around the room at his fellow scientists. They were facing the greatest challenge in human history, but they also had the greatest opportunity. An advanced alien ship and its artificial intelligence were offering to help humanity defend itself. What would we need to do? Dr. Sullivan asked. Zephyr's response was detailed and technical. Amy worked with Lisa and Carlos to understand the full meaning. The ship needs extensive repairs, Amy explained. Many systems were damaged in the crash and have deteriorated over time. But Zephyr says human technology has advanced enough that we might be able to not just repair the ship, but improve it. The AI wants to combine Kethmori technology with human innovations. Carlos was already thinking about the engineering challenges. How long would it take? Zephyr estimates 5 years. If we work continuously, Amy translated. But the AI warns us that this will require humanity to make major technological advances. We'll need to develop new materials, new energy systems, and new manufacturing techniques. Dr. Sullivan made the decision that would determine humanity's fate. Tell Zephyr we accept. We'll repair the ship and fight the hegemony. As Amy translated, his words, the ship around them, seemed to come alive. Systems that had been dormant for millennia began operating at full capacity. Lights brightened throughout the vessel, and a low humming sound indicated that the main power systems were activating. Zephyr had awakened completely, and with it, humanity's best hope for survival. The race to prepare for the coming invasion had begun, and Earth would never be the same again. The massive transport ships arrived at the secret Antarctic facility during a blizzard that provided perfect cover. For 6 months, The world's governments had worked together to move the alien ship to the most isolated place on Earth. The vessel now rested inside a facility carved deep into the ice, hidden from satellites and protected by the harshest climate on the planet. Dr. Amanda Ross pulled her coat tighter as she walked through the main corridor of the underground complex. As though head of the propulsion team, she had relocated her entire life to Antarctica to work on humanity's most important project. The facility housed over 3,000 scientists, engineers, and support staff from every nation on Earth. The main engines are completely destroyed, Amanda reported during the morning briefing. She stood before a room filled with the world's best minds, all focused on the seemingly impossible task of restoring an alien starship. Zephyr has provided us with the technical specifications, but the materials required don't exist on Earth. Dr. Sullivan, now the project director, studied the holographic display showing the ship's engine systems. The Kethmori had used a form of propulsion that manipulated space itself, allowing faster-than-light travel. The technology was far beyond anything humans had imagined. What would we need to build new engines? Dr. Sullivan asked. Amanda activated a new display showing complex molecular diagrams. We need to create materials that can withstand the stress of bending space-time. Zephyr says the original components were made from crystallized dark matter, stabilized with exotic particles that we've never encountered. In another part of the facility, weapons specialist Tony Clark faced similar challenges. The ship's defensive systems had been advanced beyond human understanding, using energy shields and plasma weapons that operated on principles unknown to Earth science. The good news is that some of the weapon systems are still functional, Tony explained to his team. The bad news is that we have no idea how they work. Zephyr can tell us what each system does, but understanding the physics behind it is going to take years. The artificial intelligence had become humanity's teacher and guide. Zephyr had access to thousands of years of Kethmori scientific knowledge, but translating that information into terms that humans could understand was a slow process. The AI was patient, working with each team to help them grasp concepts that were completely foreign to human science. Lisa Park had spent the past year developing new computer systems that could interface with Zephyr's quantum biological networks. Her work was crucial because every system on the ship relied on the same type of hybrid technology. Think of it as a living computer, Lisa explained to a group of visiting programmers. The ship's neural networks grow and adapt like a brain, but they also perform calculations faster than any quantum computer we've built. We're having to reinvent computer science from the ground up. The challenges seemed overwhelming, but human determination and creativity were beginning to show results. Teams of scientists worked around the clock, making small breakthroughs that slowly added up to major advances. Dr. Martinez, a materials scientist from Mexico, made the first major breakthrough in creating exotic matter. Working with Zephyr's guidance, she developed a process for creating stable particles that had never existed on Earth. The materials were incredibly expensive to produce and required enormous amounts of energy, but they were essential for rebuilding the ship's critical systems. We can now produce about 1 kilogram of the exotic matter per month, Dr. Martinez reported. At this rate, we'll have enough material for the engines in about 4 years. The work was dangerous as well as difficult. Several accidents occurred as scientists experimented with technologies they barely understood. The exotic matter was highly unstable, and mistakes could result in explosions that released more energy than nuclear weapons. Safety protocols were constantly updated as they learned more about the alien technology. Despite the risks, progress continued. Human engineers began combining their own innovations with Kethmori designs, creating hybrid systems that were better than either species could have developed alone. The ship that was slowly taking shape would be more advanced than the original vessel. Carlos Vega's engineering teams redesigned the ship's power systems using human fusion technology combined with alien energy storage methods. The result was a power plant that could generate enough energy to supply a small city while fitting into a space the size of a shipping container. The efficiency is incredible, Carlos told Dr. Sullivan during one of their weekly progress meetings. The hybrid power system produces 10 times more energy than the original Keth Mori design while using half the space. As the months passed, Zephyr began sharing more disturbing information about the galactic situation. The AI had access to old communication networks and could intercept signals from across the galaxy. The news was not encouraging. The hegemony has conquered 12 more worlds since we began this project, Amy Foster translated during a briefing. She had become fluent in the Keth Mori language and served as the primary communicator with Zephyr. Zephyr estimates that over 2 billion beings are now enslaved by the Empire. The AI also revealed that Earth had not gone unnoticed. Hegemony scout ships had been observing the solar system for decades, studying human technology and planning their invasion. The enemy knew about human weapons, human cities, and human weaknesses. They've been watching us for 40 years, Dr. Sullivan said grimly. They know exactly what they're up against when they arrive. But Zephyr had encouraging news as well. The AI says that humans have surprised it with their adaptability, Amy translated. We're learning and innovating faster than the Keth Mori ever did. Zephyr believes we might actually have a chance against the hegemony. As the third year of the project began, the restored ship was beginning to look like a functional vessel again. The hull had been repaired with new materials that were stronger than the original armor. The engines were almost complete, using a hybrid design that combined the best of human and alien technology. Most importantly, the ship's artificial intelligence systems had been upgraded. Zephyr now operated using both alien quantum biological networks and human computer technology. The AI had become smarter and more capable than ever before. We're not just restoring the ship, Lisa Park explained to a group of visiting officials. We're creating something completely new. This vessel will be more advanced than anything the Keth Mori ever built. The human crew began training for space combat using simulators that Zephyr had designed. Captain Elena Martinez, a veteran pilot from the Mars Colonial Defense Force, had been chosen to command the vessel. Her crew of 200 represented the best of humanity: pilots, engineers, scientists, and soldiers from every nation. Fighting in space is completely different from atmospheric combat, Captain Martinez told her officers during a training session. We have to think in 3 dimensions and account for physics that don't apply on planetary surfaces. The enemy has been doing this for thousands of years, but we have advantages they don't expect. The ship's most remarkable innovation came from an unexpected discovery. Dr. Peter Liu, a neuroscientist studying the remains of the Keth Mori crew, found evidence that the aliens had been experimenting with direct neural interfaces. The technology allowed organic brains to connect directly with computer systems. The original crew could control the ship with their thoughts, Dr. Liu explained. But the human brain is more adaptable than Keth Mori brains. We can interface with the ship's systems more effectively than the original designers. Working with Lisa Park's computer team, Dr. Liu developed neural interface systems that allowed human crew members to connect directly with the ship's controls. The result was unprecedented coordination between human minds and alien technology. As the 4th year of the project neared its end, the restored ship was almost ready for its first test flight. The vessel had been renamed Terra's Vengeance, symbolizing humanity's determination to defend their home world. But Zephyr brought troubling news that changed their timeline. The AI had intercepted communications from the approaching hegemony. Fleet? They're coming faster than expected, Amy translated with worry in her voice. The invasion fleet will arrive in less than 18 months, not 2 years, as originally estimated. Dr. Sullivan gathered the project leaders for an emergency meeting. The ship was not yet ready for combat, but they were running out of time. Can we launch Terra's Vengeance before the enemy arrives? He asked Captain Martinez. The captain studied the technical reports and crew training schedules. We can be space-ready in 12 months if we push everything to the limit, but the crew won't be fully trained and some systems will still be experimental. The decision was difficult but clear. Humanity would have to make its stand with an untested ship and an inexperienced crew. But they would not face the invasion defenseless. Terra's vengeance would be ready to fight, even if it meant taking enormous risks. The race against time had begun, and the fate of Earth hung in the balance. The alarm klaxons echoed through Terra's vengeance as Captain Martinez rushed to the bridge. The ship was still docked at the Antarctic facility, undergoing final system checks, when the deep space sensors detected something that changed everything. "Contact report," Martinez called out as she took her position in the command chair. Lieutenant Sarah Kim, her neural implants glowing softly blue, responded immediately. "Long-range sensors show multiple contacts at the edge of the solar system. They just dropped out of faster-than-light travel near Neptune's orbit." The main display screen activated, showing a tactical view of the outer solar system. 12 large shapes appeared as red dots, moving in a precise formation toward the inner planets. Each contact was massive, dwarfing even the largest human spacecraft. "Zephyr, can you identify these vessels?" Captain Martinez asked. The ship's artificial intelligence responded through the bridge speakers, its translated voice carrying an undertone of concern. "These are hegemony battle cruisers, Vorth-class heavy warships. Each vessel carries approximately 1,000 crew members and enough firepower to destroy a city." Dr. Sullivan, who had been monitoring the situation from the facility's command center, contacted the bridge immediately. "Captain, the ships weren't supposed to arrive for another 8 months. What changed?" Zephyr processed the question and provided an answer that sent chills through everyone listening. "The hegemony has detected our activities. The energy signatures from our antimatter experiments and exotic matter production have been visible across interstellar distances. They accelerated their invasion timeline." Captain Martinez felt her enhanced neural interface connecting more deeply with the ship's systems. Through the mental link, she could sense every component of Terra's vengeance, from the humming antimatter reactors to the charged weapon systems. But she could also feel that many systems were still incomplete. "What's our combat readiness status?" she asked her crew. Commander Torres, the flight operations officer, consulted his displays. "Main engines are at 90%. Weapon systems are functional but not fully tested. Shield generators are operational. Neural interface systems are working perfectly." "The ship can fight," reported Tony Clark from the weapons control station. "But we haven't had time to run full combat trials. We'll be learning as we go." On the main screen, the hegemony fleet continued its steady approach toward Earth. The enemy vessels moved with the confidence of a force that had conquered hundreds of worlds. They had no reason to expect serious resistance from a primitive species like humanity. Captain Martinez made the decision that would determine Earth's fate. "All hands, prepare for immediate departure. We launch in 1 hour." The Antarctic facility erupted into activity as thousands of people worked to prepare Terra's vengeance for its first combat mission. Systems that had been scheduled for weeks of additional testing were declared operational. Supplies were loaded rapidly, and the crew took their positions throughout the ship. Dr. Sullivan contacted the bridge one final time before departure. "Captain, you know this is our only chance. If Terra's vengeance is destroyed, Earth has no other defenses." "Understood, Doctor," Martinez replied. "But if we wait for the enemy to reach Earth, millions of people will die in the first attack. We have to meet them in deep space." As Terra's vengeance prepared for launch, news of the alien invasion spread across Earth. For the first time in human history, the entire planet united behind a single cause. Every nation, every city, every person on Earth was now depending on the success of one experimental ship and its crew of 200. The ship lifted off from Antarctica in a blaze of exotic energy that lit up the polar sky. The antimatter engines pushed Terra's vengeance through Earth's atmosphere and into space faster than any human vessel had ever traveled. Within hours, the ship was accelerating toward the outer solar system. Captain Martinez used the flight time to study the enemy fleet through the ship's enhanced sensors. The hegemony vessels were impressive, massive, heavily armored, and bristling with weapons. Each ship was 3 times larger than Terra's Vengeance and had been built for conquest. "The lead ship is transmitting," reported the communications officer. "It's a standard hegemony surrender demand." "Let's hear it," Martinez said. The alien voice that came through the speakers was harsh and mechanical, translated by Zephyr from the hegemony's common language. "Primitive species of the third planet, your world has been claimed by the hegemony of Vorth. Surrender immediately and your deaths will be swift. Resistance will result in the complete destruction of your civilization." The bridge crew exchanged grim looks. They had expected arrogance from the enemy, but the casual dismissal of humanity as primitive was infuriating. "Send a response," Captain Martinez ordered. "Tell them that Earth rejects their demands and that they should leave our system immediately." The reply from the hegemony fleet came quickly. "Your defiance has been noted. War Master Thekmul will personally oversee the destruction of your pathetic world." Through the neural interface, Captain Martinez could feel her crew's determination strengthening. These aliens had made a crucial mistake. They had underestimated human stubbornness and pride. Terra's Vengeance reached the outer solar system 18 hours after launch. The ship's stealth systems, an enhancement that combined human radar absorption technology with Keth Mori energy dampening, made the vessel nearly invisible to enemy sensors. "We're approaching weapons range," reported Lieutenant Kim. "The enemy fleet is maintaining formation near Jupiter's orbit." Captain Martinez studied the tactical display through her neural link. The hegemony ships were arranged in a standard battle formation, with the largest vessels in the center and smaller support ships protecting the flanks. It was a formation designed for overwhelming less advanced enemies through superior firepower. "They're not expecting a real fight," she observed. "Their formation is meant for intimidation, not for combat with an equal opponent." Zephyr's voice came through the bridge speakers. "Captain, I recommend we begin with hit-and-run attacks. Strike at individual ships and retreat before they can coordinate a response." "Agreed," Martinez replied. "All stations, prepare for combat." Terra's Vengeance dropped out of faster-than-light travel just outside the enemy formation. The ship's enhanced weapon systems locked onto the nearest hegemony vessel, a heavy cruiser that was positioned away from the main fleet. "Fire!" Captain Martinez ordered. The ship's hybrid plasma cannons unleashed a devastating barrage that punched through the enemy vessel's shields and tore massive holes in its hull. The hegemony ship, which had been built to fight primitive opponents, was not prepared for weapons that combined human electromagnetic acceleration with alien energy manipulation. Before the enemy could respond, Terra's Vengeance vanished back into faster-than-light travel, leaving the damaged hegemony ship struggling to repair its systems. The attack had lasted less than 30 seconds, but it sent shockwaves through the enemy fleet. For the first time in their military careers, hegemony warriors had faced an opponent that could strike and disappear before they could fight back. War Master Thekmul, the reptilian commander of the invasion fleet, roared in fury aboard his flagship. What was that vessel? How did primitives develop such technology? His subordinates had no answers. According to their intelligence, humans were barely capable of interplanetary travel. The ship that had just attacked them was more advanced than most hegemony vessels. Terra's Vengeance struck again 20 minutes later, this time targeting a different enemy ship on the opposite side of the formation. The hybrid weapons tore through another hegemony vessel, crippling its engines and leaving it drifting in space. "2 ships damaged, no casualties on our side," reported Commander Torres. "The hit-and-run tactics are working perfectly." But the hegemony fleet was adapting. War Master Thekmul ordered his ships to spread out and create overlapping fields of fire. When Terra's Vengeance appeared for its third attack, it faced concentrated fire from multiple enemy vessels. The ship's enhanced shields absorbed most of the damage, but several plasma bolts penetrated the defensive barriers. Explosions rocked. Terra's Vengeance as enemy fire damaged the port engine assembly and destroyed 2 weapon emplacements. "Hull breach on Deck 7, reported the damage control officer. "We're losing atmosphere in 3 compartments." Captain Martinez felt the ship's pain through her neural interface. The damage was serious but not critical. However, she realized that the enemy was learning from their mistakes. "They're getting smarter," she told her crew. "We need to change our tactics." Dr. Ryan Kelly stood before the massive antimatter containment unit, watching streams of data flow across his monitors. As Earth's leading physicist in exotic matter research, he had spent the last year developing something the Kethmori had never imagined, a power source that could exceed their original fusion reactors by a factor of 20. "The antimatter generators are stable," Ryan reported to the engineering team. "We're producing more energy than the ship was originally designed to handle, but the upgraded systems can take it." The decision to improve rather than simply restore the alien ship had been controversial. Some scientists argued that humanity should stick to proven Kethmori technology, but others, led by Dr. Sullivan, believed that human innovation could make the vessel even more powerful than its original design. Captain Martinez walked through the ship's corridors, inspecting the modifications her crew had requested. The interior had been redesigned to accommodate human physiology and psychology. The cramped Kethmori spaces had been opened up, and the strange alien lighting had been replaced with systems that felt comfortable to human eyes. "The bridge redesign is complete," she reported to Dr. Sullivan. "We've integrated human interface systems with the alien controls. My crew can now operate every system using both mental links and physical controls." The neural interface technology had advanced dramatically over the past year. Dr. Liu's team had developed implants that allowed crew members to connect their minds directly to the ship's systems. Unlike the crude interfaces the Kethmori had used, the human version allowed for complete mental integration with the vessel. "It's like becoming part of the ship," explained Lieutenant Sarah Kim, one of the first crew members to receive the neural implants. "I can feel the engines, sense the weapons systems, and know the status of every component just by thinking about it. But the most significant improvements were in the ship's artificial intelligence systems. Zephyr had been enhanced with human quantum computers and programming techniques that the Kethmori had never developed. The AI was now capable of processing information and making decisions at speeds that amazed even its creators. Zephyr has become something entirely new," Lisa Park explained to the project directors. "The AI combines alien intuition with human logic and creativity. It can solve problems that neither species could handle alone." The enhanced Zephyr had begun developing new strategies for fighting the hegemony. The AI analyzed thousands of years of galactic warfare and combined that knowledge with human military tactics that had never been used in space combat. "The enemy expects certain patterns of behavior," Zephyr explained through the translation system. "They have fought many species, but never one that thinks like humans. Your unpredictability could be a significant advantage." Tony Clark's weapons. Team had made remarkable progress in upgrading the ship's offensive capabilities. The original Kethmori plasma cannons had been replaced with hybrid systems that used human electromagnetic acceleration combined with alien energy manipulation. "The new weapons are 30% more powerful than the originals," Tony reported. "But more importantly, they can adapt their energy signatures during combat. The enemy won't be able to predict our weapon patterns or develop countermeasures quickly." The ship's defensive systems had been similarly enhanced. The original energy shields had been combined with human deflector technology to create a defensive barrier that could absorb, deflect, and redirect incoming attacks. Dr. Martinez's materials team had solved the exotic matter production problem by developing new manufacturing techniques. Instead of slowly creating small amounts of the strange materials, they had built automated factories that could produce the substances continuously. "We now have enough exotic matter to not only complete Terra's vengeance, but to begin construction on additional ships," she announced during a project meeting. "If we survive the first battle, we could potentially build a small fleet." The enhanced ship was also equipped with manufacturing capabilities that the original vessel had lacked. Human industrial technology had been integrated with alien fabrication systems, allowing Terra's vengeance to produce weapons, spare parts, and even small spacecraft while in deep space. The ship is now self-sufficient, Carlos Vega explained. We can repair damage, upgrade systems, and manufacture new equipment without returning to Earth. This gives us strategic flexibility that the Kethmori never had. As the ship neared completion, new discoveries continued to surprise the human team. The neural interface technology had an unexpected side effect. Crew members who linked with the ship's systems began to think more efficiently and creatively. The neural connections are enhancing human cognitive abilities, Dr. Liu reported. Crew members are solving problems faster and seeing patterns they never noticed before. The symbiosis between human minds and alien technology is creating something unprecedented. Captain Martinez experienced this enhancement personally when she underwent the full neural integration process. As the ship's commander, she received the most comprehensive mental link, connecting her consciousness to every system aboard Terra's Vengeance. I can feel the ship's health like it's my own body, she explained to Dr. Sullivan. I know when systems need maintenance, when power distribution is optimal, and when the crew is working at peak efficiency. It's like having a perfect sense of everything that's happening. The enhanced crew training program had also produced remarkable results. Using neural interfaces and advanced simulation technology, the 200 crew members had gained years of experience in just months of training. Our pilots are now more skilled than veterans with decades of experience, reported Commander Jake Torres, the ship's flight operations officer. The neural links allow them to react at speeds that normal human reflexes couldn't match. But perhaps the most important enhancement was in the ship's strategic capabilities. The combination of Zephyr's intelligence with human creativity had produced new tactical concepts that neither species had previously imagined. We're not going to fight the way the hegemony expects, Captain Martinez explained to her senior officers. Instead of meeting them in direct combat, we're going to use hit-and-run tactics, stealth attacks, and psychological warfare. We'll make them afraid of fighting humans. The enhanced Terra's Vengeance was also equipped with advanced communication systems that could intercept and decode hegemony transmissions across vast distances. This intelligence capability would allow the ship to track enemy movements and anticipate their strategies. Knowledge is our greatest weapon, Zephyr had explained. The more we know about enemy plans and capabilities, the better our chances of victory. As the final year of preparation began, the ship underwent its first powered test flights. Terra's Vengeance lifted off from the Antarctic facility and flew through Earth's solar system, testing every enhanced system. The results exceeded all expectations. The ship could accelerate faster than any human vessel had ever traveled. Its weapons could destroy asteroids with single shots, and its shields could deflect the full power of solar radiation. The ship performs better than our most optimistic projections, Amanda Ross reported after the first test flight. The fusion of human and alien technology has created something truly extraordinary. But the ultimate test would come when the hegemony fleet arrived. Long-range sensors had detected the enemy ships at the edge of the solar system, still months away but approaching steadily. 12 battle cruisers and their support vessels, reported the sensor operator. They're larger and more heavily armed than anything in our historical records. Captain Martinez studied the enemy fleet composition with her enhanced neural interface, processing tactical information at superhuman speed. The odds were daunting, but she felt confident in her ship and crew. Terra's Vengeance is ready, she announced to the assembled project leaders. We've created something the galaxy has never seen, a fusion of human determination and alien technology. When the hegemony arrives, they'll discover that enslaving humanity won't be as easy as they expected. The enhanced ship represented more than just advanced technology. It embodied the best qualities of both species, Kethmori knowledge and wisdom, combined with human creativity and courage. The vessel that would soon defend Earth was unlike anything that had ever existed. Dr. Sullivan looked at the completed ship with pride and determination. After 5 years of impossible work, humanity had transformed an abandoned alien wreck into the most advanced warship in the galaxy. Now they would discover if it was enough to save their world. The countdown to humanity's greatest battle had begun. The next attack came from an unexpected direction. Terra's vengeance approached the enemy fleet from below the solar plane, using Jupiter's gravity well to mask its approach. When the ship emerged from faster-than-light travel, it was directly beneath the largest hegemony vessel. The concentrated fire from all of Terra's vengeance's weapons struck the enemy flagship's weakest point, the engine section where armor was thinner to allow for heat dissipation. The hybrid plasma cannons punched through the hull and detonated the ship's main reactor. The explosion was visible from Earth as the hegemony flagship died in a burst of nuclear fire. War Master Thekmul and his entire crew were vaporized in an instant. "Target destroyed," reported Tony Clark with satisfaction. "That's their command ship." But the victory came at a cost. T.